Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story from Dorking Wanderers with me, Daniel. It's season 12, episode 6, and today I'm a very relaxed, very calm and very happy man. You can see that we have just gone past the mighty 40-point mark. We've had some remarkable results to get there, including one crucial moment. And when we go and look at the schedule, it probably won't be the one you think it is. But the most important thing I wanted to start on this screen for was the finances. Because we talked about staying up and how important it was with the money we've invested this summer. But don't forget, we've been recouping that. In January we were bringing money in. We did make some big sales in the summer as well. And it looks like this summer we're going to have a lot of money to work with, because the budget's now going up. I mean, the actual finances, bank balance at the club is over 70 million. And I've got a feeling we're going to have a lot to spend. We still, annoyingly, can't do anything about the training facilities. It's so frustrating. I don't know why. They're below average. We've got brilliant money at the club. Please just let us improve them. So we'll hope that comes about at the end of the year, or that could be an absolute game breaker for the rest of this series. But we'll gloss over that for now. We'll leave that to worry about in the off season, because at the moment everything's looking very good. And we're back for a very specific reason today, not just to play Watford in what's no longer a relegation clash, thankfully, but we've got something off the pitch that we want to focus on too, and that's probably more important than the second game against Bournemouth that we were planning to show. So we'll do that, and then we'll go through the Watford game, and we'll celebrate some of the positive moments in the last few weeks. But firstly, if you are looking forward to it, please do put a thumbs up on the video. It really does make such a difference. We've got youth intake day as well. There's so much going on here, and plenty to look forward to at Dorking Wanderers. We're really starting to make the rise now, and we feel comfortable that we'll be able to make it to the top in this save. We've still got 7 or 8 seasons left, and I'm sure we'll be able to do it. If you haven't already, you can click back in the eye above to catch up with the season so far, as well as my live stream last week, my head coach series, and the 2 Sunday series that continued yesterday. The FM20 network career featured one of the most important episodes in the series. In fact, the most important episode in that series. So please do give it a try if you haven't seen it already. It's myself against a co-host over a season. There's guest co-commentary for a big game in that one. So please do go and give it a try. And then my stadium review series continued. Myself and co-host Tom talking about Cardiff City this week. But you can catch up with the whole series in the eye above. Just trying to fill the void of not being able to go to football in the country at the moment. But aside from that, thank you all again for your continued support on the channel. I really do appreciate it. I'm looking into starting a Tuesday regular live stream save at some point soon. So please do keep your eyes peeled for that. It'll be that or maybe from Cricket 19, one of the two. But we'll definitely be starting to do something more regularly on a Tuesday daytime. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. I really have enjoyed the streams, interacting with people live in the chat. So thank you to everyone that's popped along in any of them so far. And I really hope you'll be able to join me in the future. It's something I'm really enjoying getting into, and hopefully there'll be far more to come. But today we've got to look at Dorking Wanderers, and we're going to focus on the results in a minute, but we've come back for a specific reason. We've had a youth intake, and you remember I was quite excited about this one. Now, the reason for that is because we were told to look forward to it, that there was a good crop of players coming through. It was the first time we got told to expect something. Every other year was don't expect much from this intake. This isn't a very good crop of players. But this year we got told there might be something there. And we've just had the message as we came back this morning. So I have read it, but I haven't had a look at any of the players. So let's go and meet them. Here is our newest youth intake. And immediately you can see some changes. For the first time, we've got a player with 1.5 star ability, and for the first time, we've got a player with 3.5 star potential. Both of those are the highest we've ever had. So let's go and meet those two players. Daryl Bursey is the one that they're talking about because he already has 1.5 star ability. He's one of the most gifted players to come through in recent years. There's a few little interesting bits here, but he hasn't got much potential. So I wonder if that's an oversight, and maybe he'll have a bit more. But let's go and look at him. Daryl Bursey. Okay, personality's unambitious, that isn't good. Determination's poor, aggression's high. There's a few bad signs there. Heading, good. Tackling and marking, okay. Positioning, good. Decision making, good. He's brave, he can jump. Not the greatest physically, not got the best pace, not got the most strength. But he's only 16, that will come in time. Otherwise, he's a decent player. What I would say is he's certainly going to be a Football League player, and that's something that we haven't had yet. So it's definitely a big step in the right direction. So a decent player there, and we'll work with him. We'll get him straight into the first team after this episode, get him working in a mentoring group, get that personality up. But let's look at the one with the biggest potential, according to Richie Sutton, who, don't forget, judging potential 13. Judging ability, 17. So we have to hope with that Bursey one that he has a bit more potential. And with this one, he's probably judged the ability well, but has he got the promise we need? He's 16 years old. Tamindu Gleedle, what a great name that is, by the way. Decent technically, a good playmaker, good on the ball, good first touch and technique, plenty to work on at 16. It's important to note he's about 4 or 5 months younger as well. He's very good mentally for his age, he's fairly professional, it's just physically he's absolutely woeful. But the one thing he has got is natural fitness, and that could be really beneficial, because as long as you've got that, you can improve as you move along. So I've got a feeling that he's going to be a good player. Again, definitely going to be Football League standard. We've just got to make sure we get him on the right track. So we'll get both of those straight into the first team. There's not a great deal to wait on this season. But let's go and have a look at the other couple of stars as well. So Adrian Ralph Suri, another good name, anywhere along the back four. Only half-star ability but 3-star potential. Not quite so good this one, but again, maybe a National League player in the future. I'm sure he's got a little bit about him. And then the other one I wanted to check was Tim Crittenden. 2.5-star potential, but already 1-star ability. Right winger, and again, one of those who's decent. Maybe League 2, National League standard. Hopefully we'll get 3 or 4 pros out of this intake. And that's what we're looking for. A youth team we can build, and then we can start to make money out of it. We can sell players on. We can give them careers in football, and Dorking Wanderers can become a youth hub in the country. So certainly by no means a wonderful start. Nothing like the Richard Quirk we had in FM19 with Torquay. Nothing like we've had in a head coach with Burnley since we've joined. But let's be honest, that is a massive step up and a real big step in the right direction. The first time that all those improvements are starting to take shape. We've got another one to come in the summer, don't forget. And I'm starting to feel like we might produce 1 or 2 before the end of this series. So we'll keep an eye on those, we'll check their progress, and hopefully they'll become stars in the future, or at least professionals at other clubs. So they're the ones to watch, but today is all about results and Watford. So let's go and have a look at the schedule. There is one standout result, but it's probably not the most important one, ironically. You were with me last time as we got battered at Everton. That was after transfer deadline day. We then got battered at home to Arsenal. The left back Kane Allen sent off after 13 minutes. Don't know what it is against Arsenal. You remember the first episode of the season? Or the first one with fixtures in. 2 sendings off against Arsenal away and got battered there. This one we lost 5-0, 10 men. It was never going to be good. But we bounced back. We did the old friendly trick because we had 2 weeks off. Got some lads some fitness. Young Jamie O'Neill got a goal. That was good for him. And a few of the others got some confidence back. And then came the most important result. 2-2 draw away at Sheffield United. This game, we were brilliant. And with 20 minutes to go, it looked like we were going to lose it, undeservedly. And I really felt that would have knocked the confidence and probably knocked us down towards a relegation battle. But as it was, Daniel Gilroy off the bench with his first goal for the club. Taken long enough, 11th league appearance. And he came on and just got a tap in, right place, right time, 6 yards out and put the ball in the corner. And you know what? Nicking that point when the lads deserved a result, they played so well, it made a massive difference. And you can see what it's done to the confidence since. So well done to Daniel Gilroy. Another big milestone in that match. Ryan Lima back on penalty duties. He scored a penalty. So that's a good sign as well. And since then, he's been in brilliant form too. So they're the 2 positives I take out of that game. And then you can see what came after it the following weekend. Dorking Wanderers 7, Aston Villa 1. I don't know how. It was 0-0 at half-time. 0-0. And then in the 52nd minute, Peter McLaughlin scored. Aston Villa, I presume, went a bit more attacking and the floodgates opened. So Diallo is in at left back. He was brilliant. Stropper in goal had a good game. In fact, there wasn't many people that had a bad game. Daniel Howarth got his first goal off the bench since returning from his loan spell. Ryan Lima got a hat-trick, including a penalty. He scored a free kick in that one as well. He was brilliant. Martin Prescott with a brace, getting a few goals as well. Hadn't scored since the Tottenham one at the end of January. And it just all went perfectly. I mean, what a result. What a performance. And that was the one that probably secured our safety. But still, to me, wasn't as important as that Sheffield United one, because that one wouldn't have happened without it. So that put us on to 37 points. We needed just one more win, and it followed straight after. And look who it was, Daniel Howarth again. Off the bench, 89th minute tap-in, composed finish. And to be honest, we didn't really deserve that one, but that's where the confidence comes. We're a plucky side, we reached 40 points, and it was against European contenders in Derby too. And then we continued our brilliant form against Manchester City. You remember, that's probably our best result of the season so far. We won 3-0 at the Etihad. And we managed to get a draw against them at home as well. Peter McLaughlin scored it. we relied very heavily on Michael Stropper, who had a brilliant game between the sticks. But on TV, 4 points out of 6 against City this year, and a 4-1 aggregate score. I mean, we can't complain about that. It leads us into this Watford one in good form, but in a position where the lads might relax. They know they're probably safe now. They're playing against a side who are fighting for their lives. But as a Luton fan, I'm determined to win it. And with Watford missing a couple today, we've got to hope we can get the result. So we'll be going full throttle for this one. As we mentioned, bar Chelsea, we've got a fairly friendly run-in. Bournemouth, Norwich both down there at home, Reading as well, Wolves in mid-table, Southampton and Newcastle, none of them right up there. But let's go and get into this game against Watford, following the youth intake, and see if we can get ourselves a result to confirm 100% that we will be a Premier League side next year. Here we go then, off to Vicarage Road. Manchester City have drawn with Leicester, not much for us to worry about. As it stands, we're in 11th, 41 points. We've got that nice 7-point cushion to 12th. And if we could finish up in 11th, that would be lovely. I mean, what a position that would be for your first season. We're probably not going to catch Tottenham, Leicester or Wolves. We're a little inconsistent for that. But we are playing a lot of those bottom sides in the running. So if we go on a good run, who knows what could happen. We're only 6 points off 7th as it stands. I think that's probably pushing it a bit too far. But with the young side, the players improving off the pitch, this has been a really good season. And we just don't want them to step off the gas. There's plenty of players like Lima, like McLaughlin, Prescott, Nunes, Boyce. There's so many that can just get better and better. And we want them to take that opportunity. So going into today, probably the big news since the last episode, Diallo has stayed in after Allen's suspension because he's been in really good form. Brown's come in at centre-half for Walker. He's just gone back above him as first choice, scoring a few goals, playing well. No reason to take him out. Aside from that, it's basically as you'd expect. And we've got everyone fit, so there's nothing to worry about on the injury front. We've got Stropper in goal, James and Diallo the fullbacks, with Brown and Baker the centre-halves, Boyce and Nunes in midfield, Lima, White and McLaughlin the attacking midfield 3, and then Martin Prescott on his own up front. Just need 3 more to get to double figures. Him and Lima could both achieve it yet, and that would be a really good season for us. So into the game we go. It's Watford v Dorking Wanderers. We can start to relax a little bit, but one more win would just make certain of it. 4-4-2 for Watford, and a couple of names stick out immediately. So this Lewis Southgate in the middle, we've seen him loads. He's a really good player, even doing well at Premier League level now. He's on over 50 grand a week. He's such a good player, probably knocking on the door of the England squad. Let's have a look up front though at Simon Thompson. The man who was in League One at Portsmouth, a really good player, scored goals against us countless times in the past. Only his second start after joining in January. It's going to be a big game for him. Probably scored off the bench in his last game maybe, and he's now getting a start. But he's a really good player, so we've got to watch out for him. But a 4-4-2, very unusual at this level, and I'm hoping we'll outnumber them in midfield. But let's go and get into it. Watford have always been a good competitor for us in the past, particularly where we were both at the top of the Championship. Looks like we're both going to be in a position to survive, although Watford are in that relegation zone at the moment. January reinforcements are good for them, and they're on the front foot immediately. We're still dropping on that balanced mentality. We've brought Nunes back to a support duty in central midfield. Just wasn't quite working for his form in the attacking role, and obviously we were starting to hemorrhage a few more goals. But it hasn't made a huge difference defensively. James blocks an early cross and finds Ryan Lima. Into Cole Boyce and long over the top. Easy as that to put Prescott in. Route 1, you can say that. And Prescott's into the box, but he's challenged. He was trying to hold it up for support and couldn't do so for long enough. And the same's happened at the other end. Dixon Blair straight in on the left. There's one in the box if he can find them. Baker heads down, only as far as Southgate. Back to McElroy, Bone shoots. Just wide at the far post. Stropper probably just about had it covered. But it's a worrying start for us there. Diallo with a throw-in. He's giving it away to Thompson. It's a really poor throw. But Baker does brilliantly in the challenge there. Back from James to Stropper and we get the chance to start again. Plenty of time on the ball, no need to rush it, and he goes long down the middle, but there's absolutely no one there. Thankfully, the Watford's header away is poor, and it finds Prescott to McLaughlin. Wayward shot. There was absolutely no chance he was scoring from there, and it sails harmlessly wide of the post, and probably about 10 yards over as well. But 15 gone, a pretty even game. Two sides that were fighting for the title till the very end last season in the Championship. Probably only the last 5 or 6 games Watford started to fall away. And to be honest, I'm surprised there's been so much between us this year. They've signed a couple of really good players. One of them's on the bench. We tried to sign him. Bellas, this central midfielder. He's a Greek 25-year-old. He was so good. Probably up there with the sort of Nunes quality. But Watford pipped us to him. And there we go, long downfield again. Prescott picking the ball up. Challenged again. Not keeping possession very well today. But there's not much support up with him, in fairness. Long ball from Watford. Thompson's just skinned them all. We warned the players about him. And thankfully he's put that one wide. It was a really tame effort. But what a fantastic run beforehand. It looks like it's going to be 0-0 at half-time. It's not been a great performance, particularly going forward. We've not really offered much threat at all. But as it stands, we're on course to get another result. And that's all you can ask for. These lads just keep fighting to the bitter end and keep giving everything to get points. Although having said that, a minute into the second half, it's Watford with a dangerous looking free kick into Noble, front post volley, and he just puts it into the corner. Stropper gets down but not quick enough, and it goes in. It's 1-0 to Watford. So we're going to go attacking because we've been really poor in this one. We're going to demand a bit more from the lads, and we might have to tweak the tactics here because we are getting outplayed in the second half so far. Thompson on the right, back to the right back, into the back post, James heads away. Lima down, James again, Lima to Boyce. It's all route one. We don't normally play that way. We normally play short football. We've got the shorter passing instruction on, but the lads are just hoofing it today. 4-4-2, we should be outnumbering them in midfield really, and there's no sign of it whatsoever. Noble goes wide, but James intercepts, and can we spring a counter here with Lima? Nope, Southgate straight on him. Lima would normally just charge, but he's hesitant. I don't know what's causing it. Southgate brings it down again. Couple of knockdowns. It's into Dixon Blair. That's going to be 2, is it? No. He's put it wide. How on earth's he missed that? Watford really should have doubled the lead there. We're going to go more expressive. We're going to push further forward. Just try and get up the pitch a bit. We're so deep defensively. There's such a big gap. We've got to try and do something about it. An hour gone, it remains 1-0 Watford. We're going to ask the lads to show some passion, and in 5 more we'll start making changes. 70 on the clock then, time to do something about this. It's going to be Aaron White, who's been in poor form generally. Howe have scored a couple recently. He'll come on as the inside forward on support. Prescott's had a poor game. He's had a few good ones recently, but on comes Jamie O'Neill. And then I don't want to take Lima off because he's been sensational the last few weeks. I'm going to take Diallo off. I'm still worried about that red card threat. Petrucci on at left back. Let's give them 20 minutes to get a result. We're going all out attack. We're going to try and get a point. There's nothing to lose. We're in a safe mid-table position and we'd really love to send Watford down. Sorry Watford fans. Here's Baker to James. Finds Boyce. Now Lima on halfway. Time inside, goes to Boyce. Lovely through ball and James is in on the right overlapping. Good challenge, but he still comes out with a ball. Into O'Neill. Oh, I thought that was going to be his first one in the league. Brilliant run, timed it perfectly, but just headed over the bar. He really should have done better with that. 10 to go, it's still 1-0 Watford. And I think we're going to lose this one, you know. We're going to go very attacking. We're going to go a little bit more direct, because they have been anyway. They've ignored my instructions, so we might as well go for it. And let's just try and get it into the box and get a result in extra time. There's 4 minutes added on. There's no sign of a goal coming. That's going to be it. We're going to lose 1-0. And after the brilliant results and form, the inconsistency shines through again. A rubbish goal to concede from a set piece. A man unmarked at the front post. Time to volley it in. And Stropper at his near post beaten. But for us, to be honest, it was a decent performance. We weren't outplayed, but we weren't great. These are the things we have to get used to. We've got a young side, a lot of inconsistent players. We've got a couple of brilliant results. And now we've had a bad day at the office. These things happen. There's nothing to lose sleep about. We're going to comfortably be a Premier League side next year. So disappointing, but certainly not disastrous. With 7 games to go, we would have certainly taken 41 points. I wasn't convinced we'd get to that total all season. The summer signings did help, but I didn't think it would be this comfortable. What that does prove today is that little chase to Derby in 7th place is never going to happen. So we might as well give up on that front. But you know what? What a season it's been. There's nothing to complain about. I'm still not upset. The youth intake's made a big difference. It's such a positive thing for the club moving forward. And if we look at the schedule, we've still got a fairly good run in and a lot of home games where we've been very strong the last couple of them. Obviously, Aston Villa 7-1 is a big one, and we've got a few similarly placed sides in the coming weeks. So we'll come back now for the last game of the season, unless there's anything dramatic in the meantime. That's away at Newcastle, who I think are just below us. They are 12th place. The gap's 7 points, but they've got a game in hand, so they may well put some pressure on us. If you have enjoyed this episode and that youth intake and performance, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you think about the inconsistency. It's a little bit bizarre, really. It's the first one where we had a winnable game that we threw away. I mean, the Villa result came out of nowhere. The Sheffield United one was back to our best, the plucky away performances. but unfortunately we just couldn't nick that point against Watford today. Let me know what you think of the youth intake, whether either of those boys can make it at the club. I don't think they'll quite make it at Premier League level, but definitely as pros in a Football League somewhere. And who knows, maybe they can become Premier League players. That would of course be a massive achievement for us, and it's a really good sign for the years to come that we could have someone special come through. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for daily FM20 content. We've got this long-term story and the head coach series as well. Please do make sure you keep up with that one tomorrow. We've just started a new season and you can see the first 2 episodes of it in the eye above, as well as the live stream transfer special last week. Finally, a massive thank you to everyone who continues to support the 2 new Sunday series, both the Stadium Review series and the FM20 Network Career, featuring co-hosts, and have been a great laugh to make. So please do check them out if you can. There's links to both series in the eye above, and I really do appreciate your ongoing support. So a big thanks for watching this one as always. I really do appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see you next time for the final game of the Premier League season.